So, what's going on, everybody? This is Aloha Snack Bar. I'm live on my Twitch as we speak. I'm here with my friend Michael, or Buzz as we call him. Say hello, Buzz.
What's up?
And I guess I'll let Crazy Spartan introduce his YouTube channel.
Alrighty guys, what's going on? It's your boy Crazy Spartan here, and as always, I appreciate all the support that you guys have been offering on the channel. We're doing something a little bit different here today. It's sort of like a podcast of sorts, you know, exchanging ideas, criticisms, you know, whatever, with my boy Sewell from the Guard, former guardsman. Say what's up to him.
What's up? What's up? How we doing?
All right, and we got my other buddy on the mic. We just got you know, introduced to each other. What is it? Mike, right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. We got Mike in the chat as well. All right, so I'm gonna preface this by saying that this was my buddy Mason's idea, Sewell's idea. So I'm gonna let him give the rundown on it. So let's go ahead and hear it.
So it is an honor to be here. I thought, you know, because I knew you had the YouTube channel for a while now. Actually, I think I was featured on your YouTube channel when we were up, and we were actually at a field training exercise to where we were walking through Walmart.
Yeah.
But
that's right.
But yeah, so that was one of the first times I actually found out about your YouTube channel, and I didn't know you streamed all this stuff until. Excuse me, I'm sick, so I apologize. But yeah, so I was just kind of thinking and going along, and I was like, you know, I hadn't really played with Lowry, and the guys that I play with on Modern Warfare, we were talking about it, and you know, where we used to play with you all the time, it was like, man, where's Lowry at? Like, where's Jordan go? So I mean, it was kind of just a spur of the moment idea today, where I was looking through some of your stuff and some of your content, and I found the video. I just want to make sure I get this title right before I jack this all up. Not playing Modern Camp Fair until ...
Yep.
So,
Right.
The video was streamed on January 17th, and I watched the entire thing, and I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of just like, wow, okay. I mean, I can see some of his points. I can see some of his, some of the stuff that he was talking about. Michael, you ready to start the game? Yoo-hoo. Mike. Did he mute me?
He might have. There's really no time.
He'll probably be back in a minute. But no, I did want to address some of the things that you actually said in the game, or excuse me, in the video, because
Okay.
I wanted to talk about it. I thought, you know, maybe somebody's second opinion would give you a little more content, but a little bit different points of view, and just help your channel out. Like I said, it's always a pleasure to try to help somebody out that I know.
Win.
So,
Profit.
the first point that was made, I gotta remember. I gotta remember the first point that was made. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, we got a person watching the video too. What's up?
Yeah, I've got 3 of them already.
Nice.
So, my thing was, you were talking about one was the maps, right?
Breach our systems.
Now let me go ahead and start off by saying this. Whenever, Mike, if you can hear me, whenever you're ready, just let me know you're ready. We can start the game. That way, Larry's gonna play it, and we're gonna play this.
I've been ready.
Oh, okay. So, one of the things you said was the maps. You were talking about the maps, and you were like, dude, the only, and I'm not quoting you by any means, but I'm paraphrasing it, is the only good map on here is Shoot House 24/7.
Okay.
Now, honestly, I just want to know your thoughts on that before we get into what I think, and then we'll get into what Buzz thinks, because there is a lot of controversy with that. So go ahead with it.
Okay, so yeah, to sort of preface what you said, you know, Shoot House is one of the more it's one of the more easier maps to play, right? So in terms of overall design and layout and just the flow of the map, it flows the best to me. You know,
Okay.
it accommodates all playstyles. If you want to, you know, and we're going to use this term loosely here, camp. If you want to camp on the map, you can do that. Or strategically wait, whichever term you want to use. If you want to rush, you can do that as well. So I just think it does the best at accommodating all playstyles, and it just eliminates a lot of.
We're all over him. Take the win.
That is camp. So that's why I said it was one of the better maps. So.
I got you. And you know what? I agree with you to an extent. You know, in there is where you talk about some of the maps. You were also talking about that. You know, Shoothouse was the only good map that they had out there. You were even mentioning some of the Modern Warfare 2 maps like Rust. You were mentioning Terminal. You were mentioning Wasteland. You called it Waste something or other. It was kind of funny because I was like, man, I couldn't remember that either for a second.
Yeah.
But you know, on the real. Yes, I agree with you to a point. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Modern Warfare 2 was still the best first-person shooter game, best Call of Duty game that I think 95% of us have played, that 95% of us, like I said, I'm not saying everybody, but most of us who do play Call of Duty on a regular basis or any kind of Black Ops, Modern Warfares, whatever, have still played because it was just that big of an impact. The timing was right. The way the game was set up was completely right. Everything was just really good about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was just one of those games you grew up on. And you're like, man, I wish there's not another game that can compete with this. But as far as the maps go, you know, that was something that really struck with me when you said that because I was like, man, there are good maps in this game. It's just the way you play them is completely different. Like, you can't go into Modern Warfare running and gunning. It's just not going to happen. You're going to get shot. You're going to die.
Right.
Yellow building.
Oh, I got you.
We got 3 people watching the video. What's up? Appreciate you. Sorry for cutting you off, Sewell. Cousin John stopping by. Alright, Cousin John, let me know if the volume is good. Might have had it turned up too loud. We got my boy Lane wanting me to invite him to a game. I might go ahead and back out as well. But continue, Sewell. I'm sorry for cutting you off, bro.
No, you're straight. You're straight. No, but like I was saying, bro, the maps are different. I will give you that. You know, some of them are good, some of them are bad. But as I've played the game and as I've kind of changed up my play styles a little bit, I'm starting to like maps that I didn't like and starting to dislike maps that I did like originally from starting the game.
Right.
And that was what and I had to change my play style accordingly. So,
okay.
like we're playing right now at Graza Raid or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing that right now, and I hated this map starting off. I'll be honest with you, but now I've kind of come to like it pretty good. But it's just my play style. I figured out what guns I like, figured out what I can do and how to play it. But no, I agree with you. Shootout Sweeper says is a pretty good map to play. I mean, it's kind of good for all play styles, but at the same time, there are other maps on the game that I think could be a little bit better.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so in terms of, you know, overall playstyle, right?
Yeah.
Modern Warfare, and here's where I go back to, you know, the whole vibe and the whole flow of the game. The way the devs seen the game, their vision of it was a uber tactical Call of Duty game, right? We're used to the whole run and gun, rush 900% of the time mentality, whereas, you know, with this Modern Warfare, tactics and just using your awareness plays a big part in how, you know, everything plays. So I get what you're saying, you know, having to adjust your play style, and, you know, that was one of the reasons why I quit playing it. And to preface this podcast off, I do have 3 days of playtime on Modern Warfare. Yes, I know what I'm talking about. So, But yeah,
I mean, I'll back that up. I'll back that up. You did put work in on Modern Warfare when you did. I mean, it was legitimate. Like, I will back that up.
right. So, my criticism of the game is valid. Although some of my points aren't my opinion, are my opinion. Souls, he has his own opinions. Everyone has their own opinions of the game. And, yeah, to go back on what you said about, adjusting your playstyle, you have to absolutely do that. And, that's 100% correct. So that's right. That's a good point.
Man. And even adjusting my playstyle, like I was always kind of like a run and gunner, and now I'm using an M14, and I've got the overkill class on, using an M14 with a backup as an MP5, just so I can maneuver around corners, and then I can actually sit there and snipe if need be. I mean, that's just kind of what I'm doing now, and I found great success with it. Like, the game prior to us coming in this lobby went 22-7, like it was nothing, and it wasn't hard. It was just fun.
Right.
And I think, just being able to change up those playstyles and being able to do different things. My goodness, I'm getting killed right now. But, I mean, being able to change up those playstyles and having kind of a different outlook on the game as far as every time you play, I think that honestly brings a little bit of fun into the actual game itself.
Absolutely. I agree.
We're losing the fight.
Yeah, and again, some people are not going to like that. Some people are going to just be like, "Well, I've always played this way." Yeah, that's cool. It's not a problem, but
right.
As far as the maps themselves go, I agree with you, man. I think they could have done a whole lot better job as far as getting more maps out there. They started putting some of the old Modern Warfare 2 maps like Crash. They put in Vacant as well, which is a map pack of Modern Warfare 2 and was even in the original Modern Warfare, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
They started putting maps like that, and I think more maps from the old Call of Duties would probably be better in the long run, just because those are legendary maps.
Right.
But again, I'm not part of Infinity Ward, so I'm not gonna be the one to sit there and tell them what to do.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. So the other points, the campers in this game. You mentioned that the campers in this game are absolutely awful. And again, I'm paraphrasing. Campers in this game are awful. That you're talking about the perks as well. Oh, I'm getting shot at again. He's talking about the perks that, somebody has cold-blooded and ghost on, and then they're sitting around a corner after you have a UAV, and then you just get popped.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I see that. I completely do. Mike, do you have any comment on that? Mike.
Hey, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Alright. What'd you say?
I said we were talking about the perks, and he mentioned in his video the campers in this game and how that you might have a UAV or something, and somebody will have ghost or cold-blooded on, whichever one it is, and
You won't be able to see them, or
if you throw a UAV out there, you won't be able to see them, and that they'll sit around a corner and just wait.
UAV above.
I agree with you to an extent, man. Like there was a lot of camping, especially because I play hardcore, and that's really all I play, unless I play like twos, which is gunfight. Right. But there is a lot of camping, and it's again adjusting your playstyle accordingly. Because I'm maneuvering around the map as we speak. I'm maneuvering. I'm trying to find the best points to see where the enemy's at. I'm trying to receive call-outs from my teammates.
Right.
Those, like, if I'm maneuvering through buildings and stuff, you bet your hind end I'm clearing corners because there are campers everywhere.
Yeah.
Mike, what do you think about that?
I'm gonna throw in a little. So if I guess the whole game design is not to create such a perfect soldier, that you can't be killed or found or followed or anything like that. Now with the cold-blooded versus the UAV, if there was limitations to it, I think it would be a little bit better. So, like, if you sit for somewhere for so long, even with the cold-blooded on, so if you're actively running, that UAV won't pick you up. But if you're actively sitting for more than, say, 30 seconds or 15 seconds, whatever, then you automatically pop up on a map. If that makes sense. Like if the UAV's going, it'll pop up after a 15, 30 second time.
Pardon?
Yeah, so in terms of,
We've lost the lead.
The camping side of it, right? It all goes back to, that vision, right? The vision was to, make the game very methodical, make it very, Rainbow Six-esque, if that makes sense. So, slowing the pace down, right? Whenever you, and I'm using the term loosely, I don't want to, hurt anybody's feelings, camp, right? When you camp, you're slowing your gameplay down, right? You're either, on a streak, you're trying to listen to footsteps, you're trying to assess the situation, if you will, right?
Yeah.
In terms of that, sort of, I guess, tactic, it kind of throws a lot of people off. It kind of grinds a lot of people's gears because it enhances the whole camping mentality, right? It makes it seem like it's okay to do that because not only do you not appear on the map with ghosts, or you don't appear on it, if you don't have it, but your footsteps are so loud, and that's another issue I covered, which I'm pretty sure you'll get to that in just a second. But yeah, with the footsteps, being, as loud as an elephant on a tin roof, it's,
Operation complete.
it's smart to not move around. So, to further, I guess, substantiate my point, camping is a very useful tactic, and it's the meta of Modern Warfare. So that's that.
All right, so I'm a comment on that because I'm not calling you out. I'm not trying to be mean by this, but I watched the video when you were actually talking about camping at 17 minutes and 40 seconds when you were playing the game, bro. You were camping around a corner so hard. I'm not even gonna lie. Dude, I was getting tickled because I was like, he's talking about camping, and there he sits. Like,
So we're talking about my Black Ops gameplay now?
Yeah, I was laughing so hard, man, because you were sitting there, you killed like 5 people, and I was like, dang, that's a good play. But you were sitting there like camping, like you were just waiting for people to walk around this wooded kind of jungle-looking corner.
Okay.
Of like some rock walls, and I was like, all right, cool. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, it's part of the game, and people will tell you that when you're like, oh, you're such a camper, whatever.
Right.
It is part of the game, and
yeah.
And you can't fault somebody for sitting there because their argument is if you're going to be dumb enough to walk around the corner, either knowing that I'm there or not without clearing it, then that's your own fault.
Absolutely right. That's right.
But again, with the slowing of the gameplay down, I think it has brought out so much of that camping kind of gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't really get mad. I mean, you can, but I mean, I can't really fault anybody for doing it because of the actual slow gameplay. Because like I said earlier, you have to slow your gameplay down to play this game.
Absolutely.
And if you don't, you're just going to get shot to death. I mean, your KDR is going to go down.
That's absolutely right. That makes
Hardcore
a
team
whole lot of
deathmatch.
sense. And the other aspect to
Proceed on
camping,
mission.
and you know, I'm trying not to spend too much time on it.
Hmm.
When you know, and I'm gonna talk about 2 points here. So in real combat, right, with us, you know, using military tactics, right? You're, you know, active duty, National Guard, Reserve. We all learn the same tactics, right?
Yeah.
You have to very well know the battlefield, right? That's why you do recon. You know, that's why you do battle damage assessments. You do all these assessments to get a good understanding of the battlefield, right? And that's where, you know, map knowledge comes into play. You know, knowing where choke points are, and, you know, knowing all these other good things about the map. And if you have, you know, little Jimmy or little Timmy No Thumbs who doesn't know the map, then he's gonna sit in the corner and camp because he doesn't know the map. So, you know, it sort of caters to that. And not only that, if you're on a, you know, a huge kill streak, you know, if you're on a 25 and you're about to get a nuke or something, then obviously, you know, you don't want to die, right? Because, you know, the time to kill in Modern Warfare is different than Black Ops 4, which is what I'm streaming in the background right now. It's a whole lot different. So, you know, camping just has a lot of, you know, sides to it, if that makes sense. So that's the whole deal about that.
I agree. Like I said, man, it's just one of those things that I myself had to get used to, and I guarantee Mike had to get used to it as well playing, because, you know, it is a big part of this game just because of the slower gameplay. Like I said, I completely agree with you. You hit it on the head. But as far as like the game being a bad game, I don't think it's like a terrible game. Like it's
No, it's not.
Utilizing TAC deploy beacon.
Mike, I mean, you can interject. I mean, you can talk, bro. Like it's.
Friendly TAC deploy
Mike.
beacon offline.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can now.
Okay.
Yeah, you can talk, bro. Like it's not just me and him having a conversation. Like it's us.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm listening.
He's trying to be good. I told him to be on his best behavior.
Yeah.
We got 4
He just
people
wants-
watching the video. What's up? I appreciate everybody.
Hey, what's going on, guys? He just doesn't want to say anything stupid.
Do what?
I say you don't want to say anything stupid. I agree with you.
Yeah. Or just let anybody up here.
He doesn't want anything incriminating. Oh gosh. Oh man.
Unbelievable. Alright, so, what is the next, I guess, talking point that we're gonna...
What I mean, it doesn't matter, man. Like I said, I just threw a couple of them out there. You can ask whatever you want to, and like the points that you made in that video or other videos that you made. Like I said, I watched a couple of them. I kind of skimmed through a couple of them, but that one I really made a point to like sit down, watch, and legitimately listen to every little thing you were saying. Now, as far as remembering, I don't remember everything,
Right.
because like I said, I watched it earlier today. But
Friendly TAC deploy beacon offline.
we can talk about whatever you want to, man.
Okay, so we're gonna sort of dive into the gun control aspect of the game, right? Not necessarily not necessarily the topic of gun control itself,
Hostile
but
system intrusion
the
has been
most
detected.
controversial topic of the game, which is skill-based
Enemies
matching.
have taken control of our
An enemy
UAV.
Okay.
has hacked and disabled
What
your control
is
systems.
your opinion of it, and do you think it has a place in not just Modern Warfare, but in games in general?
Mike, I'm gonna let you go ahead first because this is probably gonna be a while if I can.
Alright, say that again. Sorry.
Hostile malware.
Nah, you're good,
Your
man.
systems.
So, what are your opinions on skill-based matchmaking, And do you think it has a place in not just Call of Duty, but in other games in general as well?
Yes. I think there's two sides to this. I think on one side, yes, because you take some of your higher level players and you put them against like a brand new guy. Very first time he's ever played Modern Warfare or any kind of Call of Duty, you know, and it just kind of turns them off to it because they're not as fast-paced, or they haven't gotten with the pace of the game yet. Okay. And automatically throwing them with a higher level player or a higher level team, right. So to say, would automatically turn them off to the game.
Okay.
So if you throw them in with, you know, a bunch of other like lower level guys to kind of help him, you know, build his pace up to the game, and he's also able to learn the map a little bit better versus having to, you know, sit and camp in a corner because he's got 16 other higher level guys running around, sliding around corners, doing dolphin dives and all sorts of other stuff. You know, stuff that he's like, how the hell do you do that?
Right. That's very valid. So, okay, I like that.
So, what's your opinion on this, Jordan? Because I know you have one.
Okay, so
government forces take the win.
I guess to sort of, you know, piggyback off of his point, skill-based matchmaking is a necessary evil, right? It is, it's a necessary part of, you know, gaming itself, because there are your two types of players. You have your 360 no scope, trick shot, scrambling an omelet, cooking an omelet, whatever the hell, reading a newspaper, sitting on the toilet type guy who can get a no scope across the map with no problem. And then you got Timmy No Thumbs over here who, you know, struggles to get a 1 KD every match, but, you know, obviously, with those two types of players, you don't want to match them up against each other because obviously, you know, the guy who's better is going to dominate the guy who's not better, right? It's similar to putting, I guess, two different people in weight classes like that are different. So, if you put me, who, you know, which I weigh 145, 150 pounds versus a Brock Lesnar type dude who's like 280, 6'5", I'm obviously going to get wrecked, right? So, to, I guess, further, to not further lag on about it, yes, skill-based matchmaking has its place in Call of Duty, but I feel like Modern Warfare's skill-based matchmaking is too strong. I think it complicates a lot of things because there are several different back doors that a lot of YouTubers use. I'm not one of those. I play the game like it is. They use these backdoor schemes to get these really lower skilled lobbies to drop nukes on people, right?
Okay.
So, as far as do I like it in Modern Warfare? No, I absolutely don't, because it punishes good players and it rewards lower skilled players, which I don't have a problem with. If you're not good at the game, then you're just not good at it. But to further interject that, we've had modes in Call of Duty, right, that trained lower skilled players, combat training, where you played against bots of your similar level. So let's just throw a hypothetical situation out there, right? Okay. I'm gonna try and make this as fast as possible, right? So,
oh man, you're good. We got time, brother. I ain't gonna be nowhere.
Right. So, back in Black Ops 2 and even in Black Ops 1, they had combat training where you could hop onto the game, and I even used it because I was trash back then, right? So if you were anywhere between a level 1 through, 10 or 15, you were playing against bots to instill confidence, right? To get you better at the game. So I believe if Modern Warfare would have implemented a sort of combat training system where players were trained on how to play the game instead of getting thrown in these lobbies against people of Korean Savages level or pro Call of Duty players level, then skill-based matchmaking wouldn't be such a polarizing topic like it is now. So, it has a place in Call of Duty, but I just feel like it's too strong in Modern Warfare, if that makes sense.
So like when you say it's too strong, you mean like it's too strong as far as like the matchmaking is too much of a large variable as far as I'm 155 first prestige, I've made it to 155 twice now, so
Okay.
And that's legitimate. So you think like somebody who's level 40 who just bought the game at Christmas shouldn't be put in a lobby with me, or that you're thinking they should be put in a lobby with me?
And see, and that's where, skill-based matchmaking, it's sort of, one of those things that it's kind of hard to explain, because you can have, a higher skilled player who, is a level 155, let's just say in Modern Warfare, but he can be not even that good, right? Cause,
I agree with you.
Looks aren't always deceiving, or they are, they're not always deceiving. So, just because I have a Lamborghini, I could have a V8 motor in there, or V6. Who knows, right? So, I guess to answer your question, it's, that's kind of hard to sort of answer. It's kind of strong in the way of, I guess the algorithm is kind of weird. You can do bad a certain amount of games, and then all of a sudden you're put into a lobby that's really good, and you do really good, and then, I just think there are too many variables with it, and it's very inconsistent, so, yeah.
Okay.
It kind of throws me off with the skill-based matchmaking, so.
I got you. So I am completely for skill-based matchmaking. I mean, I've got to be honest. And and I'm not sounding like I'm a pro Call of Duty player or anything. That's not what I'm trying to say when I say this. But I don't want to play somebody, and as I'm speaking, I want this to be made aware. I've got this on the live stream. There's a level 42 at the top with 22 kills right now in our game.
Right.
No lie. I'm 155, made it there twice. This guy is level 42, not made it to 155 yet. Once. Like, he just bought the game last week. He's leading the lobby. He's leading the entire game.
Right.
I'm saying that, yeah, I agree with you to, it can be very loose. There can be a wide, vast difference as far as matchmaking, because this is the only guy in the entire lobby that does not have blue in his rank, if that makes sense. But he's lead lobby. Well, that being said, I'm for matchmaking because at level 155, I don't want to go into a lobby and face a bunch of noobs. Because one, it does them no good. Like Mike said, it's just going to turn them off to the game. And then two, I get nothing out of it besides a better KDR. But then when I do face those actual legitimate 155s, those 145s, those 100 and plus levels, they're going to be looking at me like I'm trash. Because if I play as just lower level people, what good am I?
that
like
makes
you said,
sense.
Yeah, I mean, looks can be deceiving, and I mean, it's just one of those things where if I'm going to play the game, I want it to be challenging. That's why it keeps coming back. with the matchmaking itself, if I'm going to play a bunch of level 155s or people around my level, then I'm going to keep playing because that challenges me. You know, you get better plays out of it, you get better looks out of it, you get better kill streaks out of it. If your kill streaks are set up and you start playing good and you get off, whatever. I mean, whatever. But I'm kind of guaranteed, you know, not me personally, but if any three of us literally just walked into a lobby with 3 new players and we were playing gunfight, we would probably be guaranteed a win.
I'm gonna interject on that. So, if they had something set up similar to the campaign mode, I feel like that way some of your faster paced guys could go from, you know, just a hypothetical, like a harder level.
Talking about Spec Ops.
No, but I haven't played Spec Ops yet.
Oh god,
Did you say don't?
Yeah,
Don't.
He said don't.
Don't.
Okay, so I'm not to that level yet.
Yeah, we can talk about that because that's a.
You're leading right into that topic, bro. Like that's the next topic on the list. Like you're leading right into it. But go ahead, man. Like go ahead. Sorry.
But if you know they had a certain, like, you know, right now we're playing hardcore team deathmatch, which is fine, but it's for, I would say, some of your more advanced players because they've been in the game, they know how the game operates, they know some of the maps, versus a new guy. He's going to choose the core mode.
Right.
Potentially.
If he's not asking for a death wish.
I agree with that. I mean, but I completely agree.
But I mean, the game makers themselves have kind of done that already with the hardcore and the core game modes. If that's the way you look at it.
Jordan?
Yeah, I agree.
I guess I'll let y'all go to your next topic.
Yeah, so... And actually, before I forget about it, so another reason why I don't necessarily agree with skill-based matchmaking is connection is no longer a factor. So when you screw with connectivity issues, right? Rather it be through Wi-Fi or rather it be through a hardwire connection. When you screw with the whole gameplay aspect of the game, right? Skill no longer matters, right? Skill is objectively thrown out of the window because now, you know, as long as everyone's playing on a good connection, you know, the whole game runs smooth, right?
So everybody's got a fair shot.
Exactly. Whereas
versus sitting here lagging and
yeah. So with skill-based matchmaking, and there's actually a patent in the game for this, and I don't know if you guys know about this, where it actually punishes good players that have good aim. Their aim is more sticky. It's more, you know, harder to lock on to players. It's more harder to aim at players, if that makes sense. So
Profit moving out.
a lot of the patents that they have in the game are designed to limit the skill level of your better players and help out the players that aren't as good at the game. So for me, I'm a big connection-based guy. I don't give a damn, excuse my language, how good you are. If we're on a good connection, you know, universally within the lobby, hey, you know, if you beat me, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for a good time, and
Time is money.
you know, skill-based matchmaking just kind of takes connection out of the equation, and oftentimes you're caught in lobbies where you get a lot of packet loss, it's lagging in Modern Warfare, you know, it's a lot of issues. So that's one of the main reasons why I don't stick with, you know, skill-based matchmaking. So
I got you. And I can see that. But they're, you know, even with the skill-based matchmaking, like you said, it is one of those necessary evils that, you know, I don't want to go in and face like 12 level 1s.
Right.
That's just my opinion though. Because if I'm gonna go play, I'm gonna be like, all right, this is gonna be a challenge. Like,
right.
You know me, we're gonna talk about your crap when we walk into a lobby. You've played with me way too many times to know me that I won't do that because I will. Like, it's just gonna
Absolutely.
happen. But nah, man. I mean, it's funner for me if we play with people that, you know, and like if you bought the game yesterday and I have had the game for a while, you know, yeah, you're gonna join my lobby and you're gonna be a level 1. I'm gonna be a level 155 or what have you. And the game, I think, in that aspect, does a pretty good job of saying, okay, well, here's some lower levels, here's some higher levels, so that way there's a good mix. And I think that's where it kind of, I think that's kind of where it how do I put this? Makes that boundary so they're just trying to make everybody happy, and you're not going to. I mean, just
right.
Nature of the beast.
That's absolutely right.
They're trying to, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and what was what was the next topic we were gonna talk about before I got back on to skill-based matchmaking? What was it?
I ain't gonna lie. We were going into the Spec Ops.
Yeah.
Going into the Spec Ops conversation.
Okay, so all right, we can save that one for a little bit later on. So we're gonna dive into something else. All right.
Right, sure.
And you know, I want my boy Mike's opinion on this. I don't know if he's still here with us. I'm pretty sure he is.
He's here.
Yeah, he's tucked
What's
in the
up?
corner somewhere. All right, cool.
Yeah,
So
I'm Cam.
Communication. All right, within you know, Modern Warfare, it's been in a word, lackluster by Infinity Ward. All right. So the game's been out for, what is it, Mason? 4 months now, Soul? 4 months?
It's been out since this past October, September, something around there.
So we're looking at, the game came out October 25th, so November, December, January. So roughly 3.5 months, 4 months, going on 4 months now. So Modern Warfare or Infinity Ward, they haven't been communicating with the community like they should. The community manager, she doesn't, you know, tweet anything about the game. She doesn't communicate about the game. Skill-based matchmaking is one of those bugaboos they don't want to talk about. It's like talking about the boogeyman. They don't want to, you know, share updates with the community. What are you guys' opinions on that, and does that, you know, affect the Modern Warfare fan base as a whole moving forward if they don't want it?
Mike?
I really don't have a comment on that one yet.
Okay. Alright, that's cool, man. That's cool. We're just, I mean...
if I think of something, I'll definitely shoot it out there too.
Okay.
So, alright, well, as far as the communication between, like, as far, like, what do you mean, like, talking about, like, I know there hasn't been a lot of talk reference, like, any kind of updates or any kind of, like, if I message them, they're not, like, one, I haven't messaged them, because I'm not gonna message them. I don't really keep up with anything they do on Twitter. I have a Twitter. I can't even log into it. I don't even know what's on it, to be honest. But I'm not one to look for that stuff, if that makes sense. I just kind of play the game and I go on. But that's just me. Now, if I was having, like, problems, like I am now, like in this map, if I was having problems, like just a bunch of connectivity issues, I usually get on like Reddit or I usually get on like Infinity Ward's website and kind of look to see if there's anybody else that's having the same problems that I am. If I'm having like I said, connection issues or stuff like that. As far as that aspect, I feel like they've been fairly decent. I'm not gonna say they're the best, but I feel like they've been fairly decent with actually communicating as far as if there's a problem or if the servers are going to be down, if there's going to be maintenance, there's going to be update or what have you. I really haven't had any kind of complaints on that end. I can see where you're coming from. I can completely see where you're coming from as far as being, you know, someone who does play a whole lot more video games, somebody who, you know, you have a YouTube channel, you stream all the time, you make videos and stuff. Yeah, you're gonna want that actual connection. You're gonna want that communication between you and whomever. But for me and a lot of the other players, it's just not that important for us. And it's not a bad thing per se. It's just something that I don't really care about. But I do see where you're coming from.
All right.
I'm gonna interject if that's all right. I really don't. I'm right there with Mason. I just get on, play the game, have fun the best I can. I don't really interact with Activision or Infinity Ward, or really communicate with any of them.
Okay.
I just kind of leave that up to, like, I guess people like you that, you know, play the game a whole lot more, play different styles of games.
Okay. Yeah, and that makes sense. Perfectly good sense, you guys. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes pretty good sense. I believe it's in terms of updates to the community about the game. I feel like it's more important to content creators because, you know, like myself, you know, I want to keep my fan base, you know, updated, right? I want to keep them in the loop, you know, about any updates or developments that go on within, you know, not just Infinity Ward, but Treyarch and Sledgehammer Games, so whoever's developing the game. And, you know, to that extent, you know, you guys just want to get on the game and have fun, and, you know, I completely agree. I understand. So I understand you guys' points of it. But to, you know, I guess further bolster my point, not saying my point is any more valid than you guys are, you know, because we're just talking, you know, we're just exchanging ideas and
burn it out. I'm just thinking.
Yeah, like we're all sitting around, you know, the campfire, and we're drinking some Coronas and having a conglomerate. We're exchanging ideas, but regardless of that, I agree 100%. So we're gonna move into the best game mode of all time in Modern Warfare, Spec Ops. We're gonna move into Spec Ops, alright? It's absolute trash, alright? So, here's what's gonna happen.
Here we go.
I'm not gonna trash the game mode, because,
You've already done it, that's why. You've already done it. You straight did it.
Look, listen. If you guys, and, you know, a lot of my subscribers on here know, if they've watched my videos, I cannot stand Spec Ops to save my life. Alright? I would rather drink toilet water than rather play a mission on Spec Ops. And Infinity Ward, it's sort of like that housewife that She looks good, she smells good, she feels good.
Wow.
But she can't cook. She can't clean.
What?
She can't
That's
do
not
anything.
where I thought this conversation was going.
Then we all thought this conversation was going way more south than it actually was.
I was like, hey man, maybe you should have talked to him first before you talked to me about saying
It
things.
pains me. It really does pain me to know. Modern Warfare had, and they still do have so much potential, but Spec Ops had probably the most upside, and here's the other thing. It's a PS4 exclusive. We are the beta triers of the game, if that makes sense. Xbox doesn't get it till next year. And you know what comes out next year?
The PS5.
I mean, yeah, the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, but no, the next Call of Duty, right? And
I'm not sure.
yeah, so the next Call of Duty by Treyarch will be coming out next year. All right, or this coming up here, right?
Oh, okay.
So, I've been around the Call of Duty community a long time. Soul, Mike, I don't know how long you guys have played Call of Duty or whatever.
Way too long.
Yeah, so
Day one, baby.
Yeah, so the Call of Duty community is we're like we're like North Carolina weather. Mike, I don't know. You live in North Carolina, right, Mike?
Yeah,
Yeah, so we're very bipolar about, Call of Duty. We are liking it one day, we're hating it the next. We're playing Modern Warfare, then we go back to Black Ops 4, then we're about to play the next Call of Duty. The Call of Duty cycle is all over the place, right? So
we've taken the lead.
So further to go back to my point, once Xbox gets their hands on Spec Ops mode, their experience is going to be different from ours, because the game will have updates, they'll have different missions and, all of that, but it's going to be too late. People are going to already move on to the next Call of Duty game. It's sort of like getting the next iPhone, right? Why get the iPhone 7, which came out a couple of years ago, when you can get the new one that just came out, right? So,
oh yeah.
In terms of that, Spec Ops just had so much potential. Now, let's talk about the things that we like about it. Alright,
Okay.
So, I'm gonna let you guys go first. So, whoever wants to talk about that, I don't know if... I know, Soul, you've had experience with it, I've had experience with it. Mike, if you want to go first, man, I don't know if you've had experience with Spec Ops before in Modern Warfare. So.
Nah, I can't give any comments on it. I had never played it.
Okay.
Except for maybe in like the Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, now if we're talking about those slap. Like those missions just slap. All right, but we're just specifically talking about the Modern Warfare of this year. All right.
Well, I will say this. I haven't played them not because of the lack of trying.
Okay.
Anytime that I've attempted to get on, either there's not a party available or it just doesn't happen. I know I sat in a game lobby one time for about 15 minutes and we never played. And then there was another time where we were on the map, we were sitting there and we were waiting to go, and it never happened.
Okay.
So I feel like there's some updates that need to happen as far as Spec Ops goes.
Alright, so any any features you like about Spec Ops? Anything you like about it?
I want to say this in generalized, very, very generalized. I like the fact that they put Spec Ops in there. Just the fact that they thought about it.
Okay.
They were like, you know what? We want this to be a part of the game because it is.
Just the thought. Okay.
Yeah, just the thought of actually having a Spec Ops was a great idea. I mean, they had every reason to with Modern Warfare 2, and you know, the first Modern Warfare 2. I mean, they really had every single reason to be like, well, this game has Modern Warfare with it, and everybody wants it to be set up like the old Modern Warfare. So why don't we put Spec Ops? Which is not a problem at all.
Right.
I agree with it. Now we're talking about as far as what I like about it. I like the variety. As far as like how many missions, like the amount of missions you actually get with it. So, and today they updated it, so you actually get more, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Now, there are problems with those missions.
Right.
There are connectivity issues. There's a whole we could go on for days about what's going on with them.
Okay.
But,
yeah, and we'll hop into the bad. Right?
Yeah. But good. Excuse me. The good are, they did think about the fact that we do want Spec Ops, which is cool. I like that.
Absolutely.
The variety that you do get with these missions, and the fact of how how long these missions are, like the amount of time it takes for one single mission, and some of the stuff you get to do in these missions are actually kind of cool if you play through. If you can, withstand some of the stuff you have to do and get through, they are pretty cool missions to actually go and play.
Absolutely.
That's a loss. Remaining assets
Absolutely, I agree 100%. So, in terms of what I like about it, and I'm gonna piggyback off of some of your points. I'm just glad it's in the game, because it was a fan favorite feature in Modern Warfare 2 and in Modern Warfare 3, right? And I believe most of the hype generated around Modern Warfare was because of the Spec Ops mode. No disrespect to the campaign, which was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, masterpiece, right? One of the best ones. I don't know if you guys have played it yet. If y'all haven't, please go play it, alright? But yeah, so Spec Ops generated a lot of hype because of its success in the past iterations, Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. I like the fact that, like you said, there's a lot of variety behind the missions, behind, what you have to do in these missions, intel, snatch and grab, eliminating high-value targets. It's cool, right? I love how open world it is. Big maps, huge maps. It's almost surreal how far Call of Duty has come in terms of expanding the world that we play in. And I love the fact that Modern Warfare, the devs went far and beyond with it, and that's really cool. That it did that. So, yeah, I like those things. Now, to further, I guess, to sort of take a pause, I just want to say thank you guys for watching the video. We got 4 people watching now. I appreciate everybody stopping by. Appreciate Cousin John stopping by. Really do appreciate everybody on the channel. Appreciate Mike for being in the podcast with us, if you will. I appreciate Soul.
Thank you guys for allowing me.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Mike, for coming by, for being in the podcast. I appreciate Soul for coming up with the idea, and making it happen. So
appreciate the love, man. Appreciate that.
All right, and now we're gonna shit on Spec Ops a little bit, which is probably gonna be my favorite part. All right.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a good one.
I'm not gonna rip it as much as I want to rip it.
Go ahead. It's your YouTube. Go ahead.
All right. So does anyone? I mean, does anyone want to go first? I mean, does it?
Sounds like you do, to be honest, bro. Sounds like you do, man.
Right?
All right, man. So it's. God damn it. It's too fucking hard, bro. I swear. Like, the shit is so fucking hard, man. It's like trying to figure out a female, bro. Like a female you do not know. I swear, like, it's sort of like asking a female where she want to eat.
Oh my god.
She'd be
I
like,
completely agree with that.
she'd be like, oh, it's wherever you want to go. Chili's, nah. Applebee's, McDonald's, nah. Like, where? Where do you want to go eat, bro? Like, what do I have to do to get you to answer this question? And Modern Warfare's Spec Ops mode, it's so hard. It's hard to understand. It's just fundamentally, it's very hard if you don't, I guess, understand the whole Spec Ops vibe behind it. I guess the whole mentality. Not to mention that there's not a damn difficulty setting on the bitch. It's not. There's no difficulty setting. There's no easy, there's no medium, there's no hard, there's no veteran setting. It's just all universal. It's just whatever fucking difficulty they set it at, that's where it's at.
Which is, I agree, it's extremely hard.
It's extremely hard. The other thing, let's talk about how enemies spawn in an area that you've cleared already, and they spawn in every 10 seconds.
Here we go.
These motherfuckers pop up like roaches in a wood board. I swear. They pop up out of no damn where. Man, oh my god. To further explain it, right? So let's just say, or if you guys have ever seen Family Guy, right? Y'all remember the episode where, I think it was either Quagmire or it was somebody else, where they were like, ooh, piece of candy, ooh, piece of candy, ooh, piece of candy. Yeah. And they just kept dropping candy in the track that they wanted them to go, and they just kept picking up candy, until eventually the box got dropped on them, and they got trapped, right? That's how Modern Warfare is. You can kill all these damn enemies, but every time you kill one, 3 pop up in this place. I swear. It makes no sense. You know, how they keep respawning. It doesn't make any sense, alright? What's another thing I don't like? I don't like how, you know, like I said, once you clear an area, you know, my buddy Sewell can kind of, you know, attest to this. Modern Warfare is an extremely realistic shooter, is it not?
Well,
to a certain degree, to a certain.
I don't think it's like much. It's realistic as far as like you don't have like all the fancy like jumping stuff or like the
right.
Like you don't have jumpsuits and jetpacks and all that. I mean, it's like you know, you could definitely take what you got here and just be like, oh well, I mean, this stuff's actually used by people around the world, and
right.
You know, it's realistic in that sense. Like, it's realistic as far as like, this is not the future. This is not future warfare. This is modern.
Right.
But
that's absolutely right.
Yeah, but you know, the realism, it's not the most realistic game
UAV standing by.
that I've ever played, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Now, is it the most realistic Call of Duty we've had?
For its time, I'm gonna say no. For its time, the most realistic Call of Duty that we have was Modern Warfare 2. Just being honest. I mean, because like the vector. If I might need to check my facts on this, but I'm pretty sure that when Modern Warfare 2 came out, I looked up these facts the other day. The vector came out a year prior, and hardly anybody had heard the actual 9mm vector
Right.
And it was a year or two prior, or something very close time frame like that, and they had put it in the game, and I was like, oh my gosh, like,
Right.
they actually did that. I'm impressed. So
Yeah, I mean, but I guess to go off of Infinity Ward's, you know, I guess their vision or whatever, they wanted to make a realistic shooter, right?
yeah, and then they did it. They did that. I mean, I agree with that.
You know, but in terms of tactical realism, it's not real. You know, like, anytime you clear an area, rather it's military tactics, or, you know, if you're in the weed or in the woods, or if you're in the garden doing, you know, weed work or whatever, like if you know, kill a root, one shouldn't pop up in its place unless, you know, you don't use the root killing stuff. So why the fuck is it that when I clear an area, the enemies pop up in the same area I just cleared? So I don't know, but those are just some of the things I don't like about it. The connection gets buggy sometimes, you know, like you referred to that earlier. But I mean, you know, with it being as open world as it is, you would expect some connectivity issues, and I guess that's just where, you know, a lot of downsizing has to happen of these big maps, and you know, you have to sacrifice you know, map size over connectivity, if that makes sense. So
No, I mean, I completely agree with you. Like, you know, you do have these massive maps. You have these objectives in your game that you're going to go out there and you're going to do. Now, there's some game modes where I like specifically. One thing I wish. Sorry, I got a text. Hold on one second. We got, man. As long as you got time, I got time, and we can talk about whatever. One of the things that I do like about it is that the fact that the missions are actually intricate. Like, you have to work with your team in each and every single mission. Now, the missions themselves, they're very, very similar. That's something I don't like. You either go loud or you go quiet.
Right.
There's no in between. You're either you're balls to the wall, or you got to be quiet. Like, there's two vastly different gameplays, but in the missions that you do get to do a lot of cool things. That's one of the great things about it. Here's my problem. If I can't remember which one it's called. It's where you start off. We did it like 400 different times with me, you, Charles, and Gathens, where we go in and we have to snipe our way through, and we have to be real quiet to get to the plane to jump off with the nuclear warhead or whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that one, that's probably my favorite one, and it's probably the easiest one to do.
Oh, by far.
But for us, it was the hardest because we were trying to do it all quiet, and it wasn't until I think 2.5 weeks ago that we did literally the entire mission up to where you jump out of the plane quietly.
Right.
Or excuse me, where you get to the plane and go into the plane quietly. That was incredible. I didn't know that there was actually a place in the game mode where you get to change clothes and you have to move past the guards. Like, you wear the guards' clothes. Yeah, bro. Like, I had no idea. That was like 2-3 weeks ago. Had no idea, because we always get to the point where you make it over that little bridge or whatever, and you know, you get killed by some juggernauts or whatever, and that was it. Like, you just go loud. Yeah. Had no clue, bro. But with all that being said, you know, it's one of those things. It's kind of a tug and pull for, you know, do you oh gosh, about that right there. Do you want your game modes, as far as like your variety, to be, you know, we're gonna put out 15 different game modes in Spec Ops, or do you want, because there's only so much you can do
Right.
Because, or you start getting like the campaign. Now, the Juggernauts, they're way too powerful.
Way too powerful, dude.
They're way too powerful. You can't kill them. Like, if you have to kill them, you have to kill them with predators. You have to kill them with light machine guns, which changes your entire tactics. And so it's almost like they're forcing you to play a certain way in those game modes, which is it's just not okay. Like, I don't agree with that by any means.
Yep.
And when you kill one, 3 more pop up.
I agree. Yeah, completely.
Absolutely.
The thing with the oh, dadgummit, I just died.
People watching the video, what's up? I appreciate everybody stopping by. So Cousin John says in the chat they should get rid of the map like it is on Black Ops 4 Hardcore. Okay.
What is he? What can you repeat what he said? I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry, bro.
He says that Modern Warfare should get rid of the map like it is in Hardcore mode.
What map is he referencing to?
What map?
I'm guessing the mini map. Cousin John, if you're still watching the chat, could you clarify on what map you're talking about? I want to say he's talking about the mini map though, because Hardcore doesn't have a map, like a mini map.
I got you.
So I want to say he's talking about the mini map.
Well, I can see why you would say that. Now, as far as me being a hardcore player, I can see why you would say that, but that's kind of like the core's thing, man. Like the core, they have all like, you know, how many rounds do I have left? I've got my gun, little picture of my gun in my bottom right hand corner. What kind of gun it is? What caliber it is? You know, if I'm crouching, kneeling, if I'm prone. They deal with that. They play with that. You know, they got all this information on the screen. Where with hardcore, you're like, oh snap! I need to remember to reload every time I shoot somebody because I'm not counting rounds.
Yeah.
I'm not that smart. I can't count my rounds out of my MP5 that's silenced after I try to take out 2 or 3 people. It ain't gonna happen.
Absolutely.
Just being honest, that's dumb.
That makes sense.
But as I kill somebody and reload. So,
but yeah, he was talking about the minimap in general. Yeah.
So, I think the minimap should stay. I think if it was me personally and I owned it, I'd be like, yeah, the minimap can stay. But you know, because if you take away that minimap, you're gonna have a lot of core players. It's gonna be like, oh well, you know, we've always played with a core map in this part of Call of Duty. You know, if you wanted to play hardcore, go play hardcore. Well, you know, this is not just me saying this. A lot of your more experienced guys, I found out that a lot of more of your experienced guys play hardcore rather than core because, I mean, you can get shot 12 times and still not die in core.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just being real. I mean, it is what it is. If I'm going to put my crosshairs on you and I'm going to pull that trigger, I'm going to make sure you're dead.
Exactly.
It's more realistic. You have to use more realistic tactics because if you don't, you will die. That's why I play hardcore. So the minimap in real life, a minimap would be nice if we had it in the real world, but we don't, and that's just one of those things that I like about it. It's hardcore is more realistic, and I get better skills. As I go 8 and 5.
Yeah, and so Cousin John says lots of people complained and complained, but still play hardcore on other CODs, right? Yeah, and that's completely understandable. And hardcore actually requires a lot more skill because you don't have the mini-map to aid you. You have to use, you know, your awareness. You have to use map knowledge. You have to understand when to reload, when not to reload. Because you don't have the hood. You don't have your heads up display. So, to further substantiate your point, you know, so a lot of, I believe you're absolutely right that a lot of higher skilled players play hardcore more. So I agree.
And I mean, and I'll be honest, I got to shout out to Metz because, and you know Metz. Metz is one of our buddies that we actually served with. He was one of the big ones that got me interested in this game, and now he doesn't want to play anymore. But the cool thing with Metz is he actually got me interested in hardcore before anyone did. And I used to play hardcore when it came to like Black Ops 1 and Modern Warfare 2. Those were my two big games that I really grew up on and that I really loved and missed dearly. But he got me back into hardcore. He was like, hardcore is the only way and there's no other way. And I was like, okay, well, I'll play it. And then I finally got interested in it and I saw how the game worked and I slowed everything down, changed everything about my gameplay. And I'm still changing things about my gameplay. So I really have to owe that to him because he got me back into it. And, you know, this is why he's part of the reason why I'm successful at hardcore.
Right. That makes a whole lot of sense. Absolutely. 100%.
But the Spec Ops, dear God, dear God, Spec Ops, just let us have game mode choosing difficulty, please. Like, I mean, give us more variety and just let us choose the difficulty. Take some of the juggernauts out. 1 or 2 juggernauts, I don't mind. Maybe 5 at max. I'm not dealing with 20 juggernauts, man, because that's part of the reason why I don't play it. It's kind of hard to keep up with the conversation because I have like 2 or 3 going on.
Yeah, and also, you can't play solo. So what if you're a lone wolf out there? You know, like you don't have friends to play with, and you want to, you know, try some of these missions solo.
Shut up, Mike. I know what you were thinking. I knew exactly what you were thinking.
Mike was like, hell nah, cuz.
Can you edit that out, bro? Can you edit that out? Because that's going on YouTube.
Hey, hold on 1 minute. Let me ask my nigga Obama. Hey, Obama.
Oh, my.
Obama, we gonna edit that out? Oh, we're gonna try and work on that. Alright, cool. Alright, so yeah, Obama's gonna try and edit that out. But yeah, so a lot of your solo dolo players, you know, they're gonna try.
I'm sorry. What did you just call them?
Solo dolo.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
I can't even concentrate on the game now. What the world? Come on, man.
I'm sorry. There's a lot that I'm holding back right now. So if you get like little Snickers or something, you're just gonna have to deal with it.
Alright, so
I'm not even, just let it loose. I don't even care anymore. I'm ready to cross that line.
Alright, so before we move on to the campaign, and then we're gonna wrap it up with our overall view of the game and things that we want to see change. Cousin John says, hardcore is just easy for me, but when Modern Warfare was the way it was, when the minimap wasn't there, it felt the best. Okay. And then he says, I absolutely loved it. Camping to me didn't matter as much as it did, but it did affect some of the gameplay. That makes sense.
Agreed.
That
Completely agree with you, John.
That makes sense.
Because because you have to adjust your gameplay, like I said earlier, you have to adjust your gameplay to other people, and you gotta react based on what they do. And if they're camping, then well, like this idiot in front of me, like he just shot me in the face around a corner because he's camping. I have to adjust my gameplay to that because if I don't, I'm going to continually get shot. That's the algorithm. That's the equation that you have to do, and that's the equation we all have in our head when we go around a corner or we play this game.
Absolutely.
So again, I completely agree with you.
So I'm gonna hop into
Top of the building.
I'm gonna hop into the campaign mode. All right.
Okay.
So I played the campaign twice, beat it twice.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have any experience with campaign. Do you guys have any
before we get into this, before we can't base it, because I'm going to do this, I will, and I've got to say this for all of us. If you're going to base it off the Modern Warfare 2 campaign, you can't do that because that's the holy grail of all campaigns. Just to be honest with you, that's the holy grail.
Okay. And I'm not because Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3, those games are in a echelon of their own. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, agreed.
They set the bar for what a Call of Duty campaign is supposed to be, and you know, rightfully so. We got 5 people watching the video. What's up? I appreciate everybody stopping by.
What's up?
Cousin John says exactly. It's every time in any new Call of Duty or a game at that. It's all about adjusting to new games. Absolutely right. Fair points.
Yeah, man.
Modern Warfare's campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Spartans and Spartanas of the world. It slaps.
Okay.
Y'all smell that? Oh my god. Y'all know when y'all wake up in the morning
Oh no.
and your wife with that big old fat booty is in the kitchen cooking something good?
Bro, what is wrong with you, man?
What is that? Hold on. Y'all smell that?
Nope.
Scrambled eggs? Bacon? Grits? Oh, biscuits and gravy. Oh, with some French toast?
Now you're talking dirty to me.
Right.
Mike's hungry. He's gonna go to Waffle House
Modern
after
Warfare's campaign is
Damn
just
right.
like that. All right, so we're gonna talk about what made the campaign so good, and you know how it how it made the game so appealing. So I remember when the game was first getting trailers, right? Mostly when they show gameplay of the newest Call of Duty that comes out, they most of the times use campaign footage, if not multiplayer footage. And when I seen how realistic the engine looks, you know, because they're using a quote-unquote new engine, which from sources that I've heard from and from other people, it's not a new engine, but I'm not going to go either here or there with that because I don't know.
Yeah.
But at its fundamentals, it is a beautiful game. Modern Warfare is one of the most beautiful Call of Duty games I've ever seen in terms of graphics, in terms of how the character models look. If you look at Captain Price, the man, he looks real.
He's beautiful.
He looks
Got a majestic
phenomenal.
mustache.
Yes, the mustache, everything. It just looks good, right? It is like a Ferrari 458. It is like a Lamborghini. It is like a jacked up Chevy or a jacked up Ford or whatever the hell you like trucks, you know, whatever kind of truck you like, right?
No,
It's like using Dapper Dan.
If you can't dodge it, ram it. Whatever kind of truck you like, it doesn't matter, okay? But the thing that I like the most, they were not scared to go the distance.
Jesus Christ.
Modern Warfare's campaign it's very visceral, right? There are moments in the campaign where you feel sorry, like you feel very empathetic. You feel like the world was just in your hands and you failed at something, right?
So you connect with the game as far as like an emotional state.
Oh yeah, by far.
Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They use chemical warfare, which is a real tactic in today's world. Although it's banned by Geneva Conventions, I think it is. But some countries, still use chemical warfare as a means to keep the people under order. And Modern Warfare, the developers did not care about criticisms of how harsh the campaign was. There were scenes in the game where you watched little kids die, you watched pets die. There was a mission where you flash back, to when the main characters were little kids, and they had to escape out of a town from grown men, and they were kids, and they had to fight their way out of that town that was overrun by the enemy forces. And you know, it's real. All of it's real. You got little kids out there fighting for their lives. You have white phosphorus, which is a kill streak in Modern Warfare, being dropped on, you know, countries. You got terrorist attacks, which Piccadilly, which is probably, oh Lord Jesus, I shouldn't have even said Piccadilly.
Here we go.
Oh, I'm having withdrawals. Let me take let's take a moment of silence for Pickle Dickle. All right, cool, we're done. Anyways,
I hate that map so much.
But no, they used so many real world issues within the campaign, and they perfected it beautifully. It was executed almost flawlessly.
Okay.
Nothing's ever perfect, but all in all, the campaign was fundamentally sound. Had a perfect explanation to what was going on with it, and perfect ending. All right, I'm not gonna spoil the ending for anybody. You'll just have to play it yourself. But regardless of that, John says Piccadilly is the worst map. I think we all agree.
John.
Thank
you, John.
In this lobby, that Pickle Dickle is the worst map. All right.
So get ready to play Piccadilly.
Oh no! Don't play Pickle Dickle. All right. So.
Bruh.
All right. So to further, or to, I guess, almost wrap up the stream, because I'm gonna play one more game, and we're probably gonna wrap it up there. All right. Mm-hmm. What are some things that you guys like, dislike, and some things that y'all would change about the game?
Go ahead, Mike.
Stand by. Y'all go ahead with it. Their turkey slider.
What? Turkey slider. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Turkey slider.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Aloha. Yeah, there you go.
Daggone.
Doom buggy. Okay, so I'll go.
So I'm trying to carry on two different conversations right now.
Well, so am I. So I mean, you're not. I mean, no one cares. But I'm just playing. So one thing that I wish they would change was they would get rid of Piccadilly, because this map is literally the worst map I've ever played in my entire life. Excuse me. The second thing I wish they would get rid of is, like we've already said, they need to change Spec Ops completely, because it is just stupid how hard it is.
So
it's challenging.
Sort of like an overhaul, if you will.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous, and
okay.
It's one of those things. Like, it just pisses me off every time, like, somebody was like, "Hey, let's just play Spec Ops," or I'd rather, because I play Infected more so than I do Spec Ops, just to take a break from what we usually do. Right. If I'm like, you have to take a break from the game. You can't just play hardcore team deathmatch, surge, domination, whatever. You can't do that just all the time. You have to take a break, do something else, kind of clear your head, clear your mind, get loose, then you get back into it. And Spec Ops is something we tried to do that with, and then me and my friends were like, no, that's not happening. it was just, yeah, it was. I mean, and you were with us when we did it. It just sucked. I mean, it was awful. Yeah. But that being said, you know, they need to rearrange some Spec Ops stuff, and they need to see if they can't change something about that. This is just my personal opinion. The third thing that I have for them, as far as the campaign goes, I think the campaign is good again, but it's not the best campaign that I've played. It's one of those. That's
another topic for another day.
It is, because like I said, I can't base it off Modern Warfare, which is exactly what I want to do. I can't base it off Modern Warfare 2, but you know, as far as the realism of the campaign, as far as the storyline, it is a very good storyline, and it's a really good. I give it a 9 out of 10 all day long. I mean, it's amazing.
Right.
And I mean, it's one of those I can play over and over and over and over again and still find fun.
Yep. Hands down, 100%.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Definitely put some more maps in there though. I mean, for the online gameplay, because I ain't trying to play Piccadilly anymore. Just take that mess out and then put something else in there. Because it sucks. Oh, I hate this freaking map. I really do. It's really just, we're playing it now. It's really just pissing me off.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
Got to give it a good battle cry.
That's going on YouTube.
Good job. Good job. All right.
That's going on YouTube.
We're not. Hey, Obama, we're not editing that out, right? Nope, we're gonna keep filming. All right, cool. All right.
Oh my god.
Cool. All right, so, in terms of things that I love about the game, which I'm pretty sure,
Enemy UAV above.
you know, Soul might have forgot about it, but the gunsmith, being able to create these Frankenstein loadout weapons, like being able to make whatever weapon you want, you know, whatever attachments you want on it.
Hostile UAV circling.
And to be able to change your class setup like mid-game, like that's dope.
Good stuff. That's good
dope.
stuff.
That's absolutely phenomenal, right? If every Call of Duty implemented that within their game, I mean, we would be talking about, you know, putting different Call of Duties in different tiers because of that. Because, you know, I don't know about you guys, but whenever I unlock an attachment or like a perk or whatever, I want to be able to use it right away. Like, I don't want to have to wait till we get to the pregame lobby to use it.
Yeah.
So, I feel like that feature that, you know, Infinity Ward has in their game, the, you know, Gunsmith, being able to change your class setup, you know, mid-match is dope.
It's not working. Switch it up.
You know, Gunsmith, being able to change it. The weaponry, I'm glad they brought back the MP7, the MP5. The AK is always going to be in a Call of Duty game. The M4, the SCAR, the AUG, which is an SMG this time around instead of the traditional AR or LMG, the FAMAS. They brought back a lot of fan favorite weapons, which I like. The campaign, I don't want to beat a dead horse, right? I don't want to repeat anything about the campaign. Phenomenal. You know, I'm glad Spec Ops is in the game. You know, we've talked about that already.
Red call. Hostile Hellstorm inbound.
But other than that, those are just some things that I like. Some things I don't like. The skill-based matchmaking, I just think that with, you know, Infinity Ward not wanting to talk about it or dive deep into how it works, it just adds a lot of mystique and it adds a lot of confusion to the game, which, as a fan base, you never want to be confused about a game. Because if you're confused about something, then how are you going to fully understand it? And how are you going to fully conquer it, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, it does.
We're done here.
Spec Ops too damn hard. Lord Jesus Christ. I mean, it's hard like trigonometry. I swear. I mean, you know, can't play it solo. There's no difficulty setting. The connection is buggy. You know, the missions don't have a lot of variety. Like you said, you either go loud or you go silent. There's no in between. We haven't even talked about survival. Why did we not address survival, bro? Is this like survival? What I did, you know, I forgot it was even in the game. Lord Jesus Christ.
I think everybody kind of forgot that it was in the game, to be honest.
Oh, can we? But before we end off the stream or whatever else, can we talk about how bad of a map Anaya Palace is?
What?
I mean, are we all in cahoots, or are we all in agreement with how bad this map is, or no? Or...
No, man. I love that map. Don't don't
oh
even.
Oh my god.
Don't even, man.
Oh my god. No.
Here we go. Here we go. This is where the crap talking starts.
So,
I can't let you talk about that map.
Would you say it's better than Azir Cave?
No. I would not. Would not a bit.
Oh my god.
No.
No.
Azir Cave was an awesome map. One, because if I step foot on that map, I mean, I usually do pretty good. I'm not saying all the time. I'm saying I usually do pretty good. Anaya Palace, it's not on a hardcore team deathmatch mode, or in a like anything like that. It's not there, so I don't ever play it unless we go to Infected. When we do go to Infected, you know what I do. I take that 4-wheel and I just ride around until somebody tries to kill me.
Right.
Which is comical 9 times out of 10.
But yeah, so the kill streaks. Do you guys like the selection? Do you think that they can be buffed? Do you think they need to be nerfed? What are you guys' opinions on the score streaks or the kill streaks in the game?
I want to make a call out right here. I think Lowry just couldn't get the kill streaks he wanted. That's why he quit the game.
Oh my god, that is bullshit.
Don't edit that out.
That is bullshit. Don't you dare say that to me again.
Oh, I'll say it to your face. You know me. Okay.
Yeah, you're blunt as a pencil, my guy. Anyways.
Wow, pencils are trying to be sharp. That's why they have pencil sharpeners.
Anyways, no. Crazy Spartan did not quit because he's trash at the game. I quit because y'all know why I quit. I don't have to explain to you guys. I don't have to. I don't have to explain to my fan base. They were just sitting here and talking about the shit. Like, I don't have to talk about it again.
Just to make everyone aware who's watching, this is the part of the video where we all start making fun of each other.
Where we all start roasting each other, exposing each other. Like, anywho's,
I'm as exposed as I'm gonna get right now.
You need to put clothes on, bro. Because I know you. Stop.
So, the kill streaks, right? You know, you got, your UAV, you got the recon drone, is it? The personal radar. So
I'll read them up to you.
Yeah, so I mean, how do y'all feel about the personal radar? Do you feel like it's better than the UAV, or?
Honestly, I think it's just a space filler.
Useless as crap.
Yeah, it's kind of like a participation trophy. It's like, hey, congratulations, you got 2 kills or however many it is to get it.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. So
it's kind of like that. It's kind of like the kid that didn't pass on his EKGs or his ECGs and his integrate EOGs or whatever they call it. And they were like, well, you're the next great problem. So it's kind of like that. It's just, it's not really, it doesn't really do anything. It just kind of, it exists. Nobody uses it unless you just want to be annoying, and then it gets shot down out of the sky.
Right.
I think it's not, there's no point. I mean, there's a UAV 1 kill away if you select it. Like there's no point at all.
Right.
Unless you're camping, and I mean, it helps out with, people that are coming up on top of you.
Okay.
But outside of that, it's just an easy target.
We got a take from my boy Lane, who just got done playing Black Ops 4 with me, which shout out to my boy Lane for playing the game with me for a little bit. They need to nerf the score streaks. Okay, so I'm not gonna bash anybody's opinion here. You know, that's not what this video is for. If I wanted to bash opinions, I would go on Reddit and just say whoever thinks Modern Warfare is a great game can suck 6.3.5 inches of penis. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. All right.
That is an oddly specific number.
Specific.
It is a very specific number.
Hey, calm it down. All right.
Oh my god.
Anywho's, but no. So with the overall map design, and I'm pretty sure you guys might agree, or feel free to disagree if you choose. The streaks, I feel as if they don't get the ample time nor the space to work because of all the buildings on the map. Can we agree? Can we disagree?
No, I don't agree at all.
So
I think your opinion is trash, to be honest.
No, I mean,
no, I'm just kidding, bro.
So explain to me why you think the streaks do a good job.
So for all those who are watching on my channel right now, I have the 1 kill streak that will make anyone in the game so bad, the Wilson. That thing needs to be nerfed. That thing needs to be taken out. Because I have been sitting waiting for a VTOL too many times, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 and you and your entire team just get wiped out, especially in hardcore. That thing has explosive rounds that it shoots out its face, and it just rolls around like a little track vehicle, excuse me, not a track vehicle, a wheeled vehicle that can go wherever it wants to. The person controlling it can hide wherever he wants to. He can sit wherever he wants to.
Okay.
He controls it. I mean, yeah, and you get it for until like the battery or whatever runs out on the little right hand side of the screen. Whatever, But if you play it right, you can make that Wilson last for like a minute. Like, and that's on a small map. That's a long time. That's a lot of kills. I mean, you could seriously do damage with that thing.
That makes sense.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. I don't have it selected because if I hate something, I'm gonna hate it both ways.
Right.
I'm not gonna like it. I'm not gonna use it. It's like the sentry gun. I don't really care about it. The AAV or the IAV, the infantry assault vehicle, the tank that they have. There is no point to have a tank on Shoot House.
Right.
This is my opinion. Like, if you have that selected on Shoot House, something's wrong.
Yeah, because it's not going to be able to maneuver. It's not going to be able to do all that.
Well, and it's also, it's only available on certain maps, so the maps that IEV won't fit on, the Wilson will, like Shoot House.
Now, I have in the game, with all the kill streaks, I have received a Juggernaut out of a care package one time. And let me tell you, it was the greatest thing I have done. One of the greatest things I've done in this game, I actually got a Zero Cave when I was running the care package kill streak, which was marvelous. Until I got smart and started running my UAV, my cruise missile, and then I did the VTOL.
Okay.
That's honestly the best kill streaks that I've come up with. I keep that all the time now. I mean, I love those kill streaks. But the Juggernaut, man, it's just two-sided. It's so two-sided because, one, in your Spec Ops, it is so hard to kill, and then you get into like your online play, and it's just like, wow,
your multiplayer.
These guys, you can throw a couple grenades at him. If you get a couple dudes together, you chuck 2 or 3 grenades, he's done. It's it.
Right.
And I cannot stand that. But it was pretty cool running around with a daggone minigun for a little bit and just...
Right.
That was kind of fun.
Right. So, I believe I've come to the understanding, in terms of your opinion, that the streaks, the ground streaks in Modern Warfare are better than the air streaks.
The VTOL is the best kill streak on the game, though.
But would you say that the ground streaks are better than the aerial streaks?
I'm gonna say no, because I have 3 aerial streaks that are selected. I mean, now, it just kind of depends on the situation because, like I said, I use a UAV, the cruise missile, and anybody who's watching this and back me up on this, I use the UAV, the cruise missile, and then the VTOL jet.
Right.
That VTOL jet, I mean, it comes in like a precision airstrike kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
It launches the thermites over a specific area, and then the VTOL hovers. And honestly, you're not going to escape that VTOL unless you go inside. That's why, you know me, every time I throw that VTOL, I say, don't go here. When it's out, start going into buildings around that area, because I know that's where they're going to go.
Yep.
So it's a team-based thing with me.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of the criticisms I have about the score streaks have to deal with the overall map design. A lot of the maps in the game have a lot of buildings. Piccadilly, Ramaza, Azir Cave, sorry.
Oh my god.
You know, that's a big-ass cave. There's no opening in the top of the cave to where, you know, streaks can at least try and get a kill, right? What else? You got Euphrates Bridge, which is, I mean, the streaks there do some work. You got Anaya Palace, which, they could do some work if, you know, you're not in the buildings or whatever else. You got Grozna Raid, which they're alright there too. But overall, I feel like there are too many doors, there are too many, you know, places to hide, too many safe spaces, as a lot of people call them. And, yeah, I don't know, dude. I feel like the streaks aren't as powerful as they should be, and as powerful as they could be. Especially white phosphorus. One of my favorite YouTubers calls it the baby powder strike. It's so funny. It's so funny. He's like, every time he gets it, he's like, this white phosphorus streak was brought to you in part by Johnson & Johnson or something like that. That shit is hilarious. But yeah, so I feel like a lot of the streaks can use a buff. Some of them can, but it all goes back to the map design, right? How the maps flow and all that. But before I end off the video, for all of those who are still watching the video on my YouTube channel, I appreciate everybody for stopping by on this podcast of sorts. Just my boy Sewell just came up with something different. He called me out today while I was doing my errands, and he blew my mind with ideas. So I was like, you know what? Why not? Why not? Because he knows my opinions
don't matter a bit. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, but he knows, you know, I'm one to discuss certain things dealing with Modern Warfare, because he knows how much I want to see the game grow. I feel like Modern Warfare has so much potential, but if they don't listen to a lot of the community's feedback on the game, it's not going to be as good as it has the potential to be. Alright? But before we end off the stream, little quick recap. We talked about skill-based matchmaking, the kill streaks, the campaign mode, Spec Ops, survival.
Talk about Crazy Spartan got beat at the game so many times. I'm just kidding. Bro, I'm just kidding, bro. I'm just figuring, bro. No, man. No, he was legit at the game, man. I remember him in a domination at Hackney Yard, or where was it? We were at the one with all the coal carts out there.
Yeah,
on the left-hand side of the yeah, it's not Hackney Yard. Golly, what was it? What is it called? I gotta go look at it.
Gun Runner.
No. Gun Runner, that's the one.
Yep. That's a good map, too. That's a good map. I like that map.
You went like 43-2 or something like that. I was just like, what?
Yep.
Yeah, it made me mad because you kept stealing my kills, but you know, that's okay.
And I actually, I want to say I posted that gameplay on my channel. I might have it on my channel. I guess before I forget about it, One of the things I also don't really like about Modern Warfare is that they don't have a theater mode for us amateur content creators like myself or anyone else who wants to review their gameplay. You can't go back and watch any games. Like, it has to be recorded live or, you know, whatever else. Whereas with Black Ops 4, I could go back to the theater mode and I can edit games and, you know, use gameplay that I, you know, had saved up or whatever. So that's really cool.
Yep.
But regardless of that, all in all, my opinion, and I want you guys to give me your all in all opinion of Modern Warfare before I end off the stream or whatever. All in all, Modern Warfare is a good game. It has the tools to be great, but a lot of the things that are making it worse, they're not getting addressed, right? They just recently fixed collision, which was a bug where you could collide into players and send them fucking flying or whatever else.
Wow, I did not know about this.
Yeah, so there was a collision bug in the game where you could bump into players and move them. So like if you're rounding a corner or whatever, and you know, let's just say I'm aiming around the corner, I got my gun propped up, and then you want to move in the general vicinity that I'm in, you're gonna push me off that wall, and you're gonna push me into that fatal funnel, if you will, right?
I've been moved several times.
Exactly.
Today, today, I've been moved several times.
Yes,
I don't know if they fixed it.
So I guess that
in more than one way.
I guess the bug was just fixed as of recently, maybe this past Tuesday with the update. Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm so sorry.
Anyways, it has so much potential because of it being a Modern Warfare game. It's almost like, you know, NBA players that are getting on up there in age, but you still expect them to produce at a higher level, right? LeBron
like a Vince
James,
Carter.
prime
Like
example.
Vince Carter.
LeBron. You know,
Kobe.
Well, I mean, Kobe, he's retired, but you get it. You get the point. Yeah, it has so much potential to be a really good game if they start communicating more with the community. If they address skill-based matchmaking, that will clear up a lot of the air about Modern Warfare. You know, they have a lot of issues that have to be sorted out with the community, and it will be a great game. So that's just my opinion on it. You guys can feel free to give me your guys' opinion on it, and I'll end off the video.
So before we end it, what's our next? Are we doing another podcast, or are we gonna we're just gonna end this here? And what's the plan there, bro?
So if this video is well received, which it actually was tonight, we reached the maximum of I think 6 or 7 people within the stream, that's phenomenal. To me, you know, that just shows that a lot of people actually like this sort of podcast thingy or whatever. So we'll actually, if the time permits, if the work schedule, you know, is good on both of our ends, me and my buddy will do one every week.
Bet.
We will do a podcast every single week if this video gets a tremendous amount of support. So, which I believe it has. I believe it's gotten a pretty decent amount of support so far. So I thank everybody for their support on this video. We already got 5 likes on the stream. That's pretty good.
Yeah, thank you all so much. Like, it really does. Like, it's cool to be able to see Lowry's channel grow and whatnot. Like, it's cool for me. Like, it's that I like. And I'm not taking the credit, but like we came up with an idea, and then he gets the benefit. Like that's cool. Like I want to see his channel grow and become something cool.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
I appreciate it, bro.
If this video gets 1,000 views, I will make a YouTube channel, and it will be us doing whatever you guys want to see. No, well, okay, let me back up. No, wait. It would probably be a lot of the gameplay. It would probably just be a lot of us trolling, a bunch of funny stuff, because I'm all about comedy, man. If you can see, I'm going to give people crap. Excuse me when I'm playing, but tonight was kind of a little bit more professional. But we had to throw in their little shots at Lowry just because I know him. You know, I hear Buzz over here. I hear Buzz over here making crude comments and taking things out of context, man. There's so much we could have said, but nah. I mean, if this video gets 1,000 views, I'll make one, and I'll start off a video. The first video I'll have will be with Buzz and Lowry, and we'll do something fun. So.
All right.
Guys, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all letting me tag in on y'all's Twitch and your YouTube channels. And
you said you have a Twitch?
I do have a Twitch, and then he's itching.
Oh my God!
So for that, guys, stay frisky.
Oh yeah, stay frisky. Stay stay savage. Stay wild.
If I could do the catfish coolie little thing he does, I'd do it, but I can't.
But yeah, man, anytime, bro. I appreciate you stopping by on the stream. And
no, man, I appreciate you having us.
I appreciate Soul for the idea. But like you said, 1,000 views, and he gets that ever so elusive channel. So make it happen. But regardless of that, I want to again say thank you to everyone who stopped by on the stream. My two boys for stopping by, being a part of this great stream we have, this great podcast, and the next one we'll be in coordination with each other on what it's going to be about, and it's probably not going to be all gaming. We might do one with certain issues surrounding the country, which we actually done one prior to this one on 2K, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did a couple on 2K.
Yeah,
we did a couple really good ones.
Yeah, so we were talking about issues surrounding the country, gun control, equality, all that other good kind of stuff. So if those are certain things, if there's anything you guys want to see us cover, rather it be a certain topic, a certain game, a certain individual, anything, let us know. Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see what my boy wants to do. If he has any topics that he wants us to do, and we can coordinate on it, we'll most definitely do that. But again, thank you to you both for stopping by on the stream. I really do appreciate it.
Appreciate you having us.
Thank you.
And to all my Modern Warfare players out there, I pray for y'all. Holy shit. No, but on a serious note, hope you guys are having fun on there. And until then, you guys, stay motivated, stay dedicated, and
stay frisky.
Stay frisky, most definitely. Stay warm too. Stay warm, because it's colder than two igloos fighting. It's colder than two polar bears in an igloo fighting over a popsicle.
Yeah, in the summer you got to check on your fat friends. In the winter you got to check on your skinny ones, man. Exactly. It's cold outside.
Exactly, it's cold as hell. But regardless of that, you guys, y'all stay motivated, stay dedicated, stay frisky, and I'll check you guys out in the next video. Peace out.
See y'all.